You're listening to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network. Welcome back to the KEMPIRE channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all that good stuff. This is, I know, a two-parter. We haven't done a two-parter of Real Housewives of Atlanta in a long time, but we were live earlier today with Layla Lynn and Grace Report talking about just Atlanta in general, but also talking about this week's episode. So I'll give you more of my thoughts on this week's episode, but this is more so an after show so that you guys, if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call link for you on the post tab on YouTube. Shout out to everyone that's already here in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here. I literally just watched the episode again. Does that mean the episode was really good? If I could watch it again? Maybe? How would you guys, okay, enough of that. How would you guys rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta? We're already on episode 7. I think we're supposed to get a mid-season trailer soon. Maybe in the next 2 weeks, we should be getting a mid-season trailer. And mind you, the trailer for the premiere did not even give us the rest of the season. It didn't even highlight the Scotland trip. So, I don't know. I feel like we have a season. I feel like the season has been good so far, for the most part. I do see where there could be some tweaks because there are a lot of people giving us nothing, and there are a lot of people giving us storylines that I feel are created. But we shall see. We shall see. If you had to rate this week's episode, let me know how you guys would rate it. And if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions. And if you missed our live earlier today, be sure to check that out with Layla Lynn and Grace Report as well. Always love hearing the Dream Team's opinion on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Also getting a female perspective. Yes, a lot of you will call in and share your womanly opinion about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So continue to share. I'm seeing 7s. I'm seeing 8s. Okay. All right. This is how you guys would rate it. Kai's giving this week's episode a 9.5. Here's the reason why I probably wouldn't give it that high. I probably would give it a 7. I felt like it was a good episode, but I am utterly confused. This was the first time in a very long time where I felt like I kept rewinding the episode because I'm like, am I missing something? Wait, who said what? Wait, where did she get this from? What? How did K. Michelle associate the oysters to what's been said about her? Who told her what? Because we recap it. If it was just any other episode, I don't know, maybe you guys that don't recap it had to rewind multiple times too. Just, wait, am I missing something? I saw a lot of people on social media saying, am I missing something? I see Portia's in New York City this week. Probably she's going to be on Watch What Happens Live this Sunday and for the next week's episode. So she's doing promo this week. So expect more content from me, but more content from Portia talking about this. She was on the Sherri Shepherd show today. She looked good. She looked really good. She also addressed some of the drama that's been going on the show. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll play a clip from that, to be honest with you, because you might want to, because this live is going to be a little bit different than the other live, just because a lot has transpired since we were live before. So maybe we could play a couple of clips from some of the things that have been playing out and talk about some of the things that have been playing out on social media. But I do think that Real Housewives of Atlanta, they've gone through their bumps and bruises. Not bumps and bruises. What in the Usher and Chris Brown tour? Sorry. I just thought of it. Sorry. Focus, everyone. Focus. So Portia was on the Sherri Shepherd show today. I see Angela is weighing in on the episode on social media. I have more additional thoughts. I'm not going to go through every single scene. I'm just going to just share a couple of thoughts, and then we're going to pivot it to the callers. So if you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call link for you guys now. If you are a Royal Court member or Senior Royal, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys right now. I'm not going to take callers just yet because I have thoughts that I want to share, but I'm going to drop it for you guys early so you have first access. It's not a part of your membership, but why not? Okay, why not? Team KEMPIRE members, I will drop the call link for you guys as well. Live chat, once we get to a certain amount of likes, I will drop the call link for you guys as well. If you're listening to the audio version of this, thank you, because you get a cleaned up, edited down version of our live recaps on the podcast. So be sure to subscribe to the KEMPIRE podcast. King of Pop Culture podcast, so be sure to subscribe to that. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Speaking of the podcast, I did drop a new episode for Club KEMPIRE. You've been waiting for it. I'm talking about my birthday trip. So if you want to know more of the details, if you're a part of the mailing list, you got an overview. I talk more about my experience in, I'm not going to tell you guys. Join Club KEMPIRE. Join Club KEMPIRE. It's the Apple Podcast subscription. All right. All right. Let me just get into this. If I had to rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I probably would rate it a 7, as I mentioned before, because I felt like it was solid, but I was utterly confused. Because I think the reason why I kept on rewinding, it's because I want to keep an open mind when it comes to K. Michelle. But who came to my live show in New York City? Who came to that live show a few weeks ago? I told you then that I heard from very reliable sources that K. Michelle did not bring it. And I said, I don't want to believe that because that's someone's opinion. And we're going to see an edited version. I do believe that an edited version could make K. Michelle more likable, but I heard from a very reliable source that she didn't bring it this season. And now that what we're seeing, I'm like, oh, this is what they were talking about. If you came to the live show, then you remember when I told you this, right? Look, I Am Unique says me. So y'all remember when I spilled that tea. I love it when my tea comes together. For the most part, I think 9 times out of 10, probably almost 10 times out of 10, our tea is solid. But it's hard to release certain tea because a lot of the stuff I get is behind the scenes stuff. It's before you see the edited version. Lakia says, you said it, Kempire. And for those that missed the Kempire After Dark, The Villain Era Continues live show, I will be releasing that for members here on YouTube at some point. But if you're a Club Kempire member, you can listen to it right now on the podcast. But stay tuned. I'm going to release it. I might have to release it sooner than later because y'all seen how it's all playing out, right? All right. Singer DST says, my mind was confused. Me too. I was utterly confused as to what was playing out in this episode. And I can't remember the last time. Usually when I'm recapping a show, I will rewind certain scenes, but I kept on rewinding so many scenes. So let's just get into this. Let's get into it from the top. Again, I'm not going to rehash every single moment. I just want to talk about the different scenes in different segments. So at the top of this episode, this is the fight between Portia and Kelly, okay? And this is where Portia alludes that Kelly saw her snatch, meaning her lady parts, when they were in Miami after the Grenada trip. And apparently what Kelly said was that, ooh, I want some of that. Kelly says that she is no lesbian, okay? Here's the thing. Every time I watch, at least this season, I'm noticing just deja vu moments with Portia. And I'm like, wait, is Portia pulling out old tricks? This did not work well. No, this did not end well for you or Phaedra when it came to creating these storylines. But Portia really thinks highly of herself and her peach juice. She really thinks highly of herself. She wanted this. She wanted all of this. And I wouldn't be surprised that Kelly may have said something, may have made a comment. But why was Portia washing her? She said she was giving herself a hoe bath. She said she was giving herself a hoe bath in front of these ladies. But I get it. Women, maybe okay, ladies. See, men, we don't do this stuff. Even gay men, we're not washing our private nether regions in front of each other or doing a hoe bath. I have never taken a hoe bath, okay? Why is she giving herself a hoe bath? Layla said earlier today, why not just jump in the shower and just take a quick shower? Maybe hair and makeup. She doesn't want her to get her hair and makeup messed up. I don't know. But why is Portia, maybe Portia was trying to entice someone. So she's giving herself a hoe bath in front of Shamia, and Kelly allegedly said, ooh, I want some of that. Look, let me take a sip. I got a little, and look, and it's that, look, shout out to all the ladies, but something about Portia thinking very highly of herself. And I'm not going to take away from Portia being a beautiful woman. And I'm sure plenty of lesbians would want some of that, okay? But the way she was retelling the story, I was just like, and Shamia said that she doesn't remember any of that. But I think Shamia is going to protect Kelly at all costs. Even if Kelly said that, I don't believe Shamia would say it. That is her alliance. I do believe that they're friends, but they are aligned with each other because it's really only them. against the world. Maybe Pinky's in that fold a little bit as well. Now K. Michelle seems to be in that fold, but the group is divided. And I can't say that it's divided because of a Portia or Phaedra. I believe that Shamia, remember Shamia admitted during the last reunion that she was trying to pull Portia into this sort of alliance. And I was like, wait a second, Shamia, you're telling on yourself right now. So I feel as if, Shamesi, did you not learn from last season? Who are you speaking to? Do you even have these conversations with Kandi? Kandi would be a good person to have a conversation about how to navigate this new season. I don't think you're listening because you are a Taurus and we can be stubborn sometimes. Exactly. Nika says, Kemp, you got an unwanted visual. She said she was giving herself a whole bath. Is that her taking a rag and wiping the... I'm trying to... Okay, so let me not sit here and assume that I even know what a whole bath is. Can someone in the chat tell me what exactly is a whole bath for a woman? I need to know. I'm thinking that she's just taking maybe taking baby wipes and... But why would you need to take a whole bath? Look. Are you taking a whole bath because you're about to hoe? Look, I'm really confused. Now I need to know more. I have more questions. This is more of a Kempire After Dark like conversation. Daddy said Shamia and her clappers. She has beautiful. I like a good butt though. I don't care, male, female. I like a good butt. Shamia, beautiful. Whatever. I need to go and watch last season because I would have never noticed that Shamia got work done until people were talking about it on the show and you guys talking about it. Oh, wait. Oh, it is. Wait, hold on. Can y'all explain to me? Okay. Dion says she's in Thailand with Kandi, so maybe Shamesi will get pointers. But they're friends. She didn't need to go to Thailand to celebrate Kandi's birthday. Happy belated Kandi. Happy birthday to Teresa Giudice. I know. Some of the people I believe are Tauruses. I'm like Kandi is a Taurus. But these other people that are Tauruses, I'm like, okay. Okay, thank you, Tina. Tina says you just take a towel and clean yourself off. Oh, so it doesn't involve water? It doesn't involve water? So why the bath? Sarai says a bath in the sink. I'm really confused. So for those that are calling in, members, I've already dropped the call in link. Can y'all call me? Can y'all call in and to explain to me what a whole bath is? Amaris says a quick cleanup for the next client. Not clean up for the next client. That makes more sense to me. Miss Melon Magic says you use water. What you know about a whole bath? Odo D says you have to wort the towel, Kemp. What does wort mean? What is a wort? A water? Maybe water the towel? Oh God. This is why I had to do my own live so we can explore more into what a whole bath is. Deshaun says, thank you for being a member, Deshaun. Deshaun says, you hit the spots with a little soap and water, underarms and private area. Okay, that's what I thought. But I didn't want to assume. Melly says a washcloth, water, soap, and hitting the hot spots. So why was she getting a whole bath? Why not just jump into the shower? Or are they going back out to the club and just in case? Look, just in case something goes down, you want to make sure that... I think that you would, even with the whole bath, I think that you would still... Well, I guess here's this difference, because with women, you guys have a lot more going on down there. So you after a full day of activities and stuff like that, maybe there might be a little bit of an odor if you don't do a little wipe up or clean up. If you're going out to the club, remember they were in Miami, and she's a single woman at this particular point. And you never know what can happen, right? But even if something was to go down, aren't you going to go back to their place or your hotel and then take a quick wipe up? Even then, isn't that when you do a whole bath? Unless she was whole bathing for one of the women. What is going on right now? What is happening? Okay. Carly says, we always said washing the two P's. Tammy says, freshen up regularly. This is real. Wave Keith is, look, Keith, I am trying to teach the people what's going on here, okay? Because I know the people have questions. What exactly is a hoe bath? And what does it entail? And why are we hoe bathing? Are we hoe bathing before we go out to the club? Are we hoe bathing before we go to the club? Okay, Hendrik says, can you stop reaching? What? Are we reaching under, look, are we reaching under the situation when you're doing a whole bath? Are we going from the back to the front? What? Okay. Dulani says, wait, Dula Nikki, not Dulani. Okay. Dula Nikki says, Kempire to Kimesi. I'm asking questions, okay? And now we've digressed. So what do you believe? Do you believe that Kelly was flirting with Portia? Because Portia then says when she was trying to go back up to her room, Kelly was trying to go with her. She says that troll was trying to climb this tree. Okay. She called herself a lioness. She called all... Portia really thinks highly of herself, as she should. She is a beautiful woman. I'm never going to take that away from her. But I really said to myself, she really thinks highly of herself. She was trying to climb this tree. Exactly, Rue. Rue says this is journalism. This is journalism. Okay, look, Pasha says, you have me cackling, Kempire. We are trying to get to the bottom of the situation. Not the bottom. Test 742 says, OMG Kempire, it's a quick bird bath in the sink to freshen up. Vaginas get sweaty and sometimes you're in a rush to go back out. Okay, that's what I thought it was. But I think that was the best explanation. Thank you. Thank you for that. So it's a quick little bath in the sink before you go back out. Okay. I will say this. Men weigh in. Gay men weigh in. Are we taking whole baths? I don't think so. If I'm going back out, I'm taking a quick shower. And then, but again, I'm a man, so I'm not, there's no makeup, there's no hair situation. So maybe that's why they don't want to jump in the shower. All right. I don't know though. All right. Look, Crystal says you typically take a whole bath if you're planning on going back out. It's just a quick freshen up with soap and water. It doesn't permit a full shower. Okay. Just to be fresh, not to, for the, as they said in the chat, not for the next client. Because if you're going to have a client, you're going to really take a bath, right? Amar says they use baby wipes. I had questions. Tammy says, I have a bidet. That's what I use. I have a bidet too. So if y'all ever want to take a whole bath, y'all know y'all can do one in my bath. But I feel like that's a little bit more thorough than you, look, than you going with the towel. I feel like a bidet, because there is a particular part of my bidet for women. So that is an option for women. So if you're a good girlfriend of mine, you could take a whole bath in my bathroom and I would never know. I would never know that you just took a whole bath in my bathroom. I would have just thought you used the bathroom. So I love a good bidet. Shout out to Japan, because there's a bidet even in the public bathroom. Never used one in the public bathroom, even though it's very clean in Japan. But I love a good bidet. And when I'm traveling in a country where they don't have them, or a city that doesn't have them, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get back home. I love a good bidet. All right? And anywhere I go, I need a bidet. Anywhere I move, I will have a bidet. Just saying. I love a good bidet. All right? A Wave Key says they probably have Kempire. Oh, my girlfriend's up in the bathrooms. They've been using my bidet, right? Good. I don't want no stanky friends either. No, this is Dolly Parton. You guys know how much I love my Dolly Parton. I have a couple of Dolly Parton shirts. I love me some Dolly Parton. All right? I heard she wasn't doing well. Let's pray a moment of prayer for Dolly Parton. She was supposed to do Vegas or something like that, and she had to cancel. Look, hold her up in prayer, y'all. Willie says, laughing out loud at Kempire scrubbing the bits. I'm just saying. Well, at least I know this. Here's the thing. Again, a bidet, I think, is probably the 2026 version of a proper hoe bath. You're not taking the rag. You can have an actual mechanical situation. I have a good bidet. So it's going to get all the nether regions, like, all in there, too. It's going to get really in there, and it dries you off, too. Miss Tita says, boomer here. The term came from women working the streets, cleaning up between clients. Whole bath. That makes sense. Not us. Okay, we spent way too much time talking about whole baths. All right? Too much time. But it's okay. It's quite all right. Shout out to our sponsor for today, our friends over at Boll & Branch. You guys are always complimenting me on my skin, and it's because I take care of my skin. But it's not just about diet. It's not just about the products that you use. But what about your bedding? What about the place that you spend probably most of your time where your skin is being touched by it? It's your sheets. And one of the things that I've invested in is quality sheets where I lay my head. Some people don't even think about this when it comes to their skincare. And your skincare is not just about your face, it's about your entire body. So I'm excited about Boll & Branch being a sponsor for today's live because they have quality sheets. Boll & Branch bedding, from their organic cotton sheets to their breathable pillows and comforters, is made with ultra clean materials that are gentle on the skin and free from harsh chemicals. Their fabrics are breathable, soft, and temperature regulating, so you're not overheating or tossing and turning. Because some of why you can't sleep at night is because of your sheets. When your entire bed is made with better materials, it supports the kind of sleep that actually helps your skin recover overnight. A lot of people start with the signature sheets and then add the matching pillowcases and a waffle blanket. I've been loving their sheets, their waffle blanket, but specifically I forgot the color. I think it's like a taupe that I got. Oh, I'm loving it against my skin. I really am. Because the combination makes the whole bed feel softer and cooler. It's one of those upgrades where you notice the difference the very first night. But of course, as I said to you guys before, I've been trying it out for the last few nights and I'm enjoying, first of all, it feels luxurious. Even the presentation on how they sent me the waffle sheet and the sheet set. I was like, okay, first of all, presentation is phenomenal. There are birthdays coming up. There are holidays coming up. This would be a fantastic gift to give to someone that you love, even yourself. And one of the things, and I've talked about this before, about pouring into yourself, it was just my birthday. Getting luxurious sheets, new sheets, fresh sheets on your bed that feel comfortable, that are, especially with how up and down the weather has been here in New York City, and I'm sure other cities where you guys are watching from, these sheets are perfect. They're cooling, they're comfortable, they're luxurious. Get into it. As always, you know there's a holiday coming up, and I've gotten you a discount. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping during the Memorial Day sale at bollandbranch.com/Kempire with code KEMPIRE. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/Kempire with code KEMPIRE to get 20% off. bollandbranch.com/Kempire. Code KEMPIRE. Exclusions apply. More information on Boll & Branch. Today's live sponsor will be available in the description. Thanks, Boll & Branch. And we're back. You guys are hilarious in the chat. He says, Boll & Branch plum waffle blanket is gorgeous. I got my package, and first of all, the presentation alone, as I said before, it's a great gift. I was like, okay, this is fancy. I like this for us. We need to pour into ourselves. So again, more information on Boll & Branch will be available in the description. I saved a couple of your comments. Y'all are going off. Little Miss Sunshine, y'all never heard of a Muslim shower? Please educate us. What is that? What exactly is that? Shout out to Coco who's watching on Twitch. Guys, if you're not following me on Twitch, you should. Apparently, because I'm streaming in 4K, the quality of the sound and the picture is even better on Twitch. So follow me there as well. Coco says we call it a tea toilet in Haitian Creole. Oh, the bidet. Someone said I need to get me a bidet sponsor. You're right. Let me send an email. Julietta says it's your fault, Kempire. Why the conversation went to where it went to. Jermaine says never adult conversation here. Never. And honestly, I have no idea. I don't plan these conversations, these sidebars in my head. It's just random. I have my random thoughts. But when we have guests, I can't have my random thoughts. But then I had my random thought, and I was like, wait a minute. Asia, hold on. Whoa. Asia says we had a bidet. Hold on, Asia. This is comment come up. Okay, we had a bidet from the 70s growing up in Gambia. Yeah, I think outside the United States, now I think the United States has gotten more onto the bidet trend. However, of course, places like India, they use bidets and things like that. The old school bidets. Now we have these very fancy bidets, okay? I don't remember which brand of bidet I have. I had my bidet, when I lived at the other house, I had a bidet. It's still there. But I got a new one for this place. And wherever I go next, I'm going to have a bidet. I forgot the brand, but it's a good one. It's a nice one. It's toasted. Like when you sit on it, it warms up. It's good. It's self-cleaning. It's not. You can get a very inexpensive bidet. I'm sure you probably see them on TikTok or somewhere else. You can get an inexpensive one, but the one that I got is luxurious. Lakia says, always a great and interesting conversation with Kempire. You never know where we'll go. I'm glad that you took some ownership, Lakia, in regards to that. It's not just me. Y'all give me these sidebars. Paula says, watching Traders Canada, please recap for Club KEMPIRE. I'll consider it. Paula, is that on Peacock? I'm assuming it's on Peacock. Because, I love a good Traders, and I'm going a little insane without having it around. Yeah, Toto is the leader in bidets. You're right, D. I don't have a Toto yet. But you see a lot of Totos in Japan, various ones, but there's some fancy high-end Totos in regards to the bidets. All right, let's focus, y'all. Let me focus. So Portia thinks that Kelly wants that snatch, okay? But why? Okay, again, why was she cleaning her snatch? If you're going to do a whole bath, are you doing this in front of your friends? Question for the audience. Are you doing this in front of your friends? Okay? But that's just me, just asking the questions. Fine. Anyway, so this fight between Portia and Kelly doesn't last long before they start talking about Rose, which I found out earlier today may have been a vibrator of some sort that went viral. And so the ladies start reacting to the Rose. They're like, oh, yeah, I had it. Or I had to get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. It was too much, blah, blah, blah. And K. Michelle seems utterly confused. She's like, how do we go from this fight between these two about sleeping with married men? Mind you, Phaedra stopped. She put a kibosh on Portia saying who the married man is. Which, again, wait. So was Phaedra the person that originated the story to you, Portia? Because it's starting to feel like season whatever it was with Candy, Portia. Because you remember Portia was saying the same thing about Candy. And Candy's a short stuff, too. And I believe Candy when Candy said that it was Portia trying to flirt with her. So, I don't know. Anyway. So the conversation goes to the Rose tour, and K. Michelle is so confused how it turned from fighting to happy and laughing. Here's the thing. K. Michelle makes it seem like she's never done reality television before. And I'm not saying Real Housewives is the same as Love and Hip Hop or any of these other shows that she's done, but she acts like she's such an amateur when it comes to reality television. But at the same time on social media, she's, I'm not new to this, but you're acting like you're new to this. You're looking at the camera. You're getting incensed with minor, small things. You're creating drama that's not even there. You're paranoid. Her paranoia is making us paranoid. So I'm confused. She's confused. Remember she said she's a mood changer, her first episode? She said, I'm a country music star. I'm a mood changer. And now I really take that literally. You are a mood changer because in this episode alone, my mood changed 10 times. I was confused. I was paranoid. I was mad. I can't say I was sad. Look, no, I was sad because she started crying. Then I was confused again. Then I'm mad. I'm like, what? And then I'm confused. Wait, and then I'm paranoid. Is it a scheme that Portia and Drew set up to come to us with the BS? Because they're good for creating a story. And I don't believe that Drew is completely innocent. But I think that K. Michelle should have let this play out. She didn't let this play out, and now she looks paranoid. But I do think that she's paranoid. And we've covered so many stories when it comes to Tamar and K. Michelle's beef over the years. These two don't like each other because they are the same person. They are the same exact person. Right? They are the same exact person. The more I've seen some of her interviews and things like that. Oh, update, breaking news. I haven't been blocked. Calm down. Calm down. I haven't been blocked by K. Michelle yet. Okay. Maybe after this week's episode. I haven't been blocked. But randomly, I've been unfollowed. From Instagram. Because remember she followed me? I told you guys before they made the official announcement that she's going to be on the show, and then randomly she followed me on Instagram. She follows me on X. I don't follow her there. Because I interviewed her back in the day when I was doing KEMPIRE Radio years ago. Remember I told you this story? And she follows me on X. Apparently, I don't follow her back, which is fine. She probably won't follow me today because she's probably watching this from her burner. She unfollowed me on, look, she unfollowed me on Instagram. So you know what I did? I unfollowed her. I was like, you are too sensitive, weirdo. Come on. It doesn't need to be this way. K. Michelle could have had an easy, breezy season. And I'm not saying that these housewives do not plot and plan and that there wasn't a plot to come for K. Michelle. But she let him play it out. Or, instead, if you don't want them to play it out, address it. Let people know. I heard that you were going to associate me with Black. I heard that, Portia, you were going to come for me with some old tea from Mano saying that my snatch, it smells. Okay? Julietta says her finger is probably close to the block button, Kempire. I don't care because I'm still going to see the stuff. But I already told you a couple of weeks ago when she reposted a very simple thing that I said. And I was like, okay, Michelle, if you're upset by me pointing out what you said in a clip, then when I actually give my opinion, then you're going to really be upset. So I already knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, and I was like, it is what it is. It does. I tell you guys these things, not because it bothers me. It really doesn't. I don't care if you follow me or not. I wouldn't have followed you back if you didn't follow me. If you unfollow me, I unfollowed you. Fine. Am I mad at K. Michelle? No. But I'm sure people will be like, anytime I say anything critical of her, he's just mad that she unfollowed him. Well, she followed me first. Okay? I'm not mad. I'm not surprised. I was just waiting, right? It was like, TikTok, it's coming. We all said it. Well, mark this day, a week after my birthday. Night. How nice, K. Michelle. You unfollowed me. You probably unfollowed me on my birthday. Brie Brielle says she'd be so overly bothered. She could have had such an easy season. I don't believe that Portia was coming for her. Even in Portia's new interview with Sherry Shepherd, she literally is still giving grace to K. Michelle. Do I think that Portia could have been plotting something for K. Michelle? Maybe, but I really don't believe that. Do I believe Drew could have been? Yeah, I don't put anything past Drew. You know what I mean? But K. Michelle's coming across very bothered, very paranoid. And she's making us confused. She's gaslighting us now. All right? Exactly. Danim or Danny or Dan says more people know about the rumor now that she brought it up. Because she forgets that this Bravo universe didn't watch. There are a lot of people, those white women that love Phaedra, did not watch Love and Hip Hop, did not know who K. Michelle was. So now people are getting to know who K. Michelle is because K. Michelle keeps throwing herself under the bus. No one would have known about that Mano story. Even if we follow stuff like that, doesn't come to mind. I'm reminded now about that story because of K. Michelle. And maybe someone did tell her they're going to come for you, K. Michelle. And when she says someone called her, I think it was the voices in her head. I think it was the voices in her head that called her that night in Dallas and told her that they're going to come for you. Because we already know the whole Black of it all, that was a bit of a reach. Based off of what she's saying when it comes to Drew, using her finger, we're not going to do the finger. They replay that moment. Drew was not using her finger. She was just like this. A lot of people do that when it comes to just putting her hand out. And when you replay that moment between K. Michelle and Black, it did seem like you guys knew each other. And based off the text messages that they showed, you were responding to him. It wasn't like he was just in your DMs. There are plenty of people in my DMs. I don't respond to them. That doesn't mean I know them. And if I saw them on a FaceTime, I'm going to act like I do know them. I wouldn't be like, oh, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. There are plenty of people in my DMs, look, that are trying to act familiar. And I'm like, I don't know you. Look, I don't know you. Lakia says Jack Daniels told her that. I don't know. Somebody's telling her something, but it's a bit much. Okay, fine. All right, let's move on because, as I said, I told you that I wasn't going to go scene by scene, but let's talk about this dinner. So they end up going to this group dinner. Pinky's in the bathroom. Cynthia's trying to help her because she's not feeling well. She didn't eat enough because Cynthia brought her to that damn restaurant with no vegan food, and she got drunk, okay? And now she's very sick. Okay? And Cynthia, in a very conniving way, is just like, this is why you gotta be nice to people. Was this a setup? Was this a setup, Cynthia? No, I'm joking. I'm being facetious. Calm down, y'all. Okay. So I did find this funny. She was like, no TED Talk left in her right now. Oh, damn, Cynthia. No TED Talk left in her right now. All right, so Portia's playing around with the oysters, and she's making comments about the oysters being clean. She's associating it with a vagina, blah, 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 blah. If you pay attention to K. Michelle's face, K. Michelle is like she's already triggered. But here's the thing, though. Now I'm thinking about the timeline of it all, because according to K. Michelle, someone called her that night. Someone told her that night. Everyone's assuming it's Shamia. Shamia is denying that it was her because K. Michelle says she went to Shamia and Kelly to tell them. But I think she's paranoid, because if you look at her face in that moment, she's already be like, why? She's making her face about it. But even Angela was like, why is she talking about these oysters like the JJ's? Because that's Portia. Portia's nasty. Okay. But Cynthia's used to it, so Cynthia's laughing at her. All right. So K. Michelle's looking at her like, what? And like she doesn't get it. K. Michelle says that she thinks that there are things that she wants to say, because in this moment, Shamia, I got this mixed up earlier today. I was saying Angela, but it was actually Shamia at the table that asked K. Michelle how she was doing, and she's saying that this is a safe space for her to open up. And K. Michelle says that this is not a safe space. Oh, what? She said this is not a safe space. All right. Portia and Kelly revisit their conversation in the Sprinter, and Portia says, I have to say, some of the interviews I've seen with her recently, how she's conducting herself this season, I'm seeing a level of maturity, or at least she knows how to navigate this show in a better way, because she's saying that she's not happy with what she said on the Sprinter. We didn't even see this part until they flash back, that she talks about Kelly's business. And I don't want to wish that on you. And she basically wants to end it with Kelly, but Kelly's we are where we are. Basically meaning that she's not trying to make peace with Portia. And maybe some of the things that are really stemming between Portia and Kelly really have nothing to do with them, and it's more so to do with Shamia. So moving on from there. So K. Michelle says that she's been standoffish with Drew. This is when she confronts Drew. She's been standoffish with Drew because Drew keeps saying that Black is a friend of hers. So Drew's basically saying, well, I thought that you guys knew each other. I'm not trying to associate you guys like that. I just thought you guys were friendly. That's the vibe that we got. There's nothing, at least not, in the footage that we've seen, there's nothing saying to me that Drew is trying to throw K. Michelle under the bus. Do I think things happen behind the scenes? Yes, they do happen behind the scenes. But based on what we've seen, it doesn't give that vibe. It's just making K. Michelle look paranoid. But okay. So K. Michelle says that the word around Atlanta is that Drew is trying to connect her to Black. Okay. While Drew is talking about this and trying to clear this up with K. Michelle, Shamia is making comments basically saying that if it was her, she'd be upset with a guy that you're talking to is DMing K. Michelle. And even K. Michelle she stops Shamia and she's just, you gotta stop. Are you guys going to move on? So the fact that your own friend is telling you to move on, it says to me that you are the problem, Shamia. Yes, last week I said that Drew was dragging it. She didn't have to bring up Shamia's mother. But it seems like Drew is ready to move on with Shamia. But Shamia making those comments, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why it didn't work out well for you last season coming for Drew. Why are you so stubbornly still coming for Drew? I'm not saying that you have to like Drew. I'm not saying that you and Drew have to be best friends. But this is not the smoke that you want, Shamia. You're having a terrible season yet again. And it seems like you are the catalyst when it comes to trying to start drama. We saw this at the top of the season, her trying to start drama with everybody in regards to, oh, you guys are still friends, blah, blah, blah. And you're blaming Angela and Drew for the downfall of your relationship with Portia. That's just not the truth. You and Portia always had these issues. You always had these issues, but you put it to the side probably so that you could play the long game, like Angela said last season on the after show. played the long game so that you can get on the show. And now you're on the show and you don't need Portia. But you're going to play good girl here because you know this ongoing beef with Portia is going to play out this season and you want to secure your spot for next season. Shamia, run. But you want to be famous. Sidebar, did you guys see the K. Michelle interview? Not K. Michelle, Carrie Hilson interview? Because you remember they were in a girl group together. So I found it very interesting when Carrie said that, first of all, they had the group for a long time, but in the last year, Shamia joined the group, or after a year, Shamia joined the group, and she says Shamia auditioned, and so did Portia. So this competition between Portia and Shamia has always existed. So you sitting around here blaming Angela and Drew, girl, no, you and Portia probably have never really seen it for each other. The only reason why you guys remain friendly is because you grew up together, your moms are best friends. We still haven't got to the bottom of what happened there. And you guys keep saying, oh, I don't want to talk about that. We don't want to go there. Get off the show then, Shamia, if we're not going to go there. Wave Key says Carrie Hilson definitely watches RHOA. She was being shady. She was being shady because she said, Shamia's always been theatrical. She didn't say these words. She said some other words. Shamia's always been like sort of, aha. Yeah, not likable. Hence why probably none of these moments really panned out for her. Despite her having all these opportunities, they'd never panned out for her. She's like a D-list side character. Yeah, she's a D-list side character. Who would have thought that? I think what happened in regards to the audition, I definitely think that Shamia has a better singing voice than Portia, and that's why she got the job. But Portia has more personality. She's got star quality. She's got star quality. Exactly. Lakia says Shameless, a.k.a. Shamia, is desperate for fame and is only giving cringe festival. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Naza, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me shimmy for the $20. Thank you, Naza Glows. Naza says, I really had high hopes for K. Michelle. She gives perpetual victim. I don't think she's suited for Real Housewives. And anyone else feel like now I kind of got to look back at some of the beefs that she's had over the years and be like, was she just playing victim? Look, I really have to say that to myself. I'm like, okay, was she completely a victim in those other scenarios? Maybe not. Wave Keith, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Wave Keith says, even though K. Michelle may need to be in a padded white room for a few months, she has potential. Wait. She wouldn't be the first unlikable first season housewife. Agreed. I just don't know now, though. I'm kind of thinking to myself, I don't think this is going to stop. Shamia says, Kemp, oh, wait. KD says, Kemp, you are way too rough on Shamia. You guys decide. Am I too rough on Shamia? Because I can listen to my audience. Am I too rough on Shamia? The streets are a lot rougher on Shamia. Look, the streets are a lot rougher on Shamia than me. So, fine. Y'all think, let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. Am I too tough on Shamia and her burner account? Am I too tough on Shamia? I'll wait. Let me look through my notes. So let's get to the morning breakfast. Look. Replay crew, feel free to share. Drag me. Look, drag me, Monique. Drag me, Monique. Look, I'm seeing a lot of no's, nope. Look. Okay, hold on. Chef T says a little bit. Lolita says go harder. Damn. I really could go harder. Y'all don't even realize how light I go on a lot of these people. I could go a lot harder, and I don't. Thank you, Amara. Hold on. Where's Amara's comment? Amara says, where is the comment? Where did Amara's comment go? Amara says, you literally just said she has nice cakes. She's a beautiful woman. I actually think that she has a great personality when it comes to just a person. But for reality television... Brielle says, let's vote no. Okay. All right. Let me move on. Not drag me, Monique. Okay. Look, Excommunicado says, yes, you don't give her any grace or her viewpoint. Okay. All right. Oh, Crystal says, you're not as hard as the blog pages. Okay. All right. Look, Gary says yes, but I expect certain people they're always going to have the contrary opinion. Okay. All right. Let's move on. All right. Oh, either way, y'all, for those that think I'm too hard on Shamia, just because you think that I'm too hard on Shamia, is that going to change how I handle my honest opinion about Shamia? No. It's not going to change. I was going to ask. Naza says, but this is Kemp's channel, though. Exactly. All right. Little Miss Sunshine, you go harder on Virgos. All right, let's move on. So this breakfast, I watched so many times because I was utterly confused. So K. Michelle is not even downstairs. She's upstairs tweeting, okay? She's upstairs tweeting, all right? I talked about the tweets that she posted last night during our Layla Lynn and Grace Report recap. So if you expect me to talk about them now, I'm not going to. I will say, if anything, the way that Portia ended it when she said, oh, actually, I will show you this tweet where Portia basically ends K. Michelle. She basically says, Portia says, ooh, Twitter fingers, shaking the table. Hashtag activated. Because there was a lot of back and forth on social media between Portia, not a lot, but there were some tweets between Portia and K. Michelle on social media. Because K. Michelle, that's where she goes. She goes to X. She shares all her thoughts and opinions. And even during the season, this is what she was doing. So she comes down. Okay, she comes down and if they're like, "Are you okay? How's everything going?" Literally, Angela's the one who asked her. Last night you said it wasn't a safe space. All of a sudden, K. Michelle starts doing the ugly cry, and I'm not saying that K. Michelle's ugly, but the ugly cry where it's just like it's not just like one tear that comes down. No, her face scrunches up, and so everyone jumps up and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Oh my! Wendy says, "No, you too nice." Here we go. Asia says, Twitter fingers shaking the table. That took me out. For me, that was like she ended K. Michelle in that moment. She really did. Okay? Adi says, K is seriously giving angel vibes. Well, they're both Pisces. They're both Pisces, so I'm not completely surprised. Okay? How do I even say your name? I'm just calling you B. K. Michelle misdirected her anger towards Drew. She wanted to get at Portia. You think that's what was playing out? Could be. Definitely could be. Rue says, I get a sense that Kay expected to be the main girl, and she's surprised that she's just one of the girls. You think? Some people have said that too, and that's why she's coming for Portia. But I feel like Portia really is leaving space for them to both be like the top women. All right. Deja says that Kay needs a hug and a therapist. Okay. So K. Michelle starts bawling at the table, and everyone tries to comfort her. And then K. Michelle says someone called her the night before, and she told this to Kelly and to Shamia. She said someone called her the night before and said that these ladies were plotting and planning. They were going to do this whole black connection. Portia's, why are we fighting over black? Did y'all notice that Phaedra was just like, ooh, him and those teeth. Like she was turned on by black. I think she just says stuff to say stuff, because I couldn't see her with a black. You know what I mean? But anyway, because she was also flirting with the guy with the jewelry. I think Phaedra just does stuff to do stuff, okay? So K. Michelle says that they're plotting, that someone was plotting to talk about the connection between her and Black. Maybe because she does have some damning text messages, because the text message that they showed, it showed that she was flirting with Black as well. But I get it. She's a married woman now. She doesn't need that drama. But then she says they were going to bring up this rumor about K. Michelle and Mano, but they don't mention Mano's name. So it's a headline from the Jasmine brand where it says K. Michelle suing Mano over comments about her lady parts. They blurred out Mano's name. All right. Angela calls out Shamia in this moment because she's paying attention to Shamia's facial expressions. And Shamia's just, look, I'm just reacting. I didn't, because everyone's starting to assume that maybe it was Shamia stirring the pot and bringing this information to K. Michelle. But K. Michelle apparently went to Shamia and to Kelly. So Shamia says she doesn't believe that Drew doesn't feel a way about the black being in her DMs. Drew's so confused. How is this becoming about you? And then why are you so concerned about how I'm reacting to something? Okay. But everyone seems so confused at this breakfast. I was confused as well. They separate. They go to their separate alliances. K. Michelle goes outside and she starts crying again and complaining and saying that people are plotting and planning. Everybody's in Auntie Cynthia's suite talking about what's been going on over there. All right. K. Michelle, in her confessional, she says that Portia is selling synthetic hair on Buford Highway. Okay. She says that Drew is fighting for a home with a man in the basement. Then she's, people want to talk about whether or not my snatch smells like, what did she say? Sardines or something like that. And then she says that she's had a lot of transformations when it comes to her vajayjay. She says, I've gotten it tightened, tucked, and snipped. Okay? This is a married vagina. I think she got married in order to be on this show, y'all. Because, yes, I knew that they've known each other for a very long time. They've dated each other since high school, on again, off again. Remember, she also did a lot of different things in between. Okay? But I do think that she got married for the show. But that's my thought. Because she keeps bringing up that she's a married woman. She's a married woman. Okay. So she's having these conversations with Pinky, Kelly, and Shamia. Portia is having this conversation with Cynthia, Angela, Drew, and Phaedra. Okay. So someone says to check social media. Because I'm thinking a production said to check social media because they saw K. Michelle's tweets. So they read K. Michelle's tweets, and so they're hearing about a plotting and a planning. So Portia's confused. Why wouldn't she come to me if she felt this way? Because she's the one who introduced K. Michelle to the group. And now if something happens between K. Michelle and Portia, is Portia going to downplay them being friends? Because she did that with Fallon. Because the way that she's making it seem during the season, her and K. Michelle are buddies. All right? So I'm so surprised that she wouldn't say something to me. Angela doubles down and she thinks that Shamia is the one behind all of this. And she says, Shamia's over here blaming them for the demise of her friendship with Portia. Look, and then Drew randomly brings up the fact that Phaedra might be eating dead people. And Phaedra says, excuse me? And so Cynthia explains when that came up earlier. Lord have mercy. I'm really running through this stuff. If you're a member of the channel, I have dropped the call-in link for Royal Court members and senior royals. If you're a Team KEMPIRE member, I dropped the call link for you guys as well. I want to leave some opportunity for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. But before we do that, of course, today is brought to you by our friends over at Hulu. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. And we're back, guys. Don't forget to like today's video. I will drop the call link for the general audience as well. How many people we got in the building? Hold on, I didn't even see how many people we got in the building. Oh no, we need to get some more likes, y'all. Be sure to like today's video. If you're listening to the audio version of this, you can. Be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I've also dropped a new Club KEMPIRE episode. Speaking of which, join our mailing list, thekempire.com/join, because during my birthday trip, I was giving all kinds of really, first of all, great tips about where I traveled to, but also giving you an inside look into my trip. This was like the first time that we ever did that during one of my trips. So look forward to more of that and more exclusives as well. Who in the chat has joined our mailing list? If you join now, I am going to repost the last part of my Mexico City trip. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to join before I repost it. Or for those that haven't signed up for the Kempire's Inner Circle. So sign up today so that you can be ahead of the curve when I'm on a trip, when there's exclusive, when there are tour announcements, things like that as well. All right? thekempire.com/join. Okay? All right. Let me say thank you, Miss Nubian, for the super chat. Miss Nubian says, do you think that Kay is possibly making this up? Because if there was a plan, why would from one group share with, why would someone from one group share with the other group? Doesn't make sense. None of what she's doing is making sense, though. So, as I said to you before, it might be the voices. Might be the voice, because, again, her issues with Drew doesn't make sense. Based on what we're seeing, I'm not saying that things do not happen behind the scenes. Again, I think she should have let it play out. And then we could be like, and there it is. But no, I don't know. Miss Melon Magic, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Miss Melon says, K. Michelle and Tamar are the same one. Same are the same. One begs, and one leaks. Lord have mercy. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's move on. Okay. If you're a member of the channel, I've dropped the call link for you guys. A live chat. Let's get to 400 likes, and I'll drop the call link for the general audience as well. And for those that want to share their thoughts and opinions on this week's episode. So the episode, we go from the breakfast to Shamia calling a meeting, and then we get to see Shamia in this thong and bathing suit. Everyone's making comments about her body. Apparently she's gotten her body done. Her body looks great. Shamia looks great. She's a beautiful woman. So she wants to call out the fact that people are trying to plot and plan on her, saying that she's the one that's telling K. Michelle these things about the group, that she's telling Portia's going to be talking about this, or Drew's doing this. And she's calling this meeting to make it clear, it's not me. And K. Michelle, you have to clear my name. And K. Michelle says, no, it's not her. All right? And apparently she didn't tell Shamia who told her this. Well, now people are just looking at you, K. Michelle, then is this even true? Is there any truth to what you're telling us? And then it leads to a fight between K. Michelle and Drew because she brings up the whole black of it all. And Drew was like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, baby. And she, don't baby me. And then it gets crunk. Drew stands up. Drew's just, what? K. Michelle is just, this ain't TLC. Her confession was hilarious. This ain't TLC. She's doing the bounce. This ain't TLC. I was like, oh, Lord. But she's getting activated for something she didn't need to get activated for. You know what I mean? Drew and K. Michelle are going at it. We already saw this in the preview. And now that we know the context of it all, it's just, okay, K. Michelle, why are you getting crunk? This is not a reason to get crunk about. All right, exactly. A 5 for wisdom says, spill the source. The source might be, I was going to say Rashida, but they don't talk. I don't know. Or don't say anything. Let it play out. And then you can say, because then I wouldn't care if she tells us whether or not who told her this. But my thing is, I feel like just let it play out. And then we'll see for ourselves. And then you'll be like, and there it is. I knew you were going to do this. This fight between Drew and K. Michelle, because Drew ends up going inside to call black, it then leads to a fight between Shamia and Angela. Because Angela said, I have to stop and sip before I read this girl down. We know Angela has it in her because she read Pinky down. Okay? Shamia really feels, and this is saying more about Shamia than anything, she really feels, and I'm not saying that it's not true, she feels like there are a group of ladies that are going to support Portia. And she said there are a bunch of go naked models now. And I'm not saying that's not true, but it's telling me a little bit more about her mentality, why she got so upset about being put into the pool house with Kelly, why she's reacting the way she's reacting to some of the things that we're seeing between the group. Okay? Shamia says that when she talked about her facial expressions, Angela talking about her facial expressions, she's like, I'm a black woman. Our faces say it all. Okay, so then this goes between Angela and Shamia arguing with each other. Shamia keeps bringing up that the group is part of the demise of her friendship with Portia. I've already told you this. I don't believe that's the demise of your friendship. And even with you saying this to us, I don't believe that it stems from this group. Yes, During the season, it brought stuff up, but I believe you guys have always had issues, and the show just highlighted those issues. Okay? But I'm waiting to see what plays out during this cast trip, because word on the street, it gets physical. That's the word on the street. It gets physical between, or almost gets physical between Portia and Shamia. And Portia already confirmed that Shamia says something during the season that she says that was below the belt or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. I can't go by these women's word because their word is not bond. None of them at this particular point. But okay. All right. Then they end up going to get ready for the gala. Drew apologizes to Cynthia. She also apologized on social media because she was very late for this event. I rewatched it because I completely forgot when we talked about this earlier with Layla and Grace Report what everyone was wearing. Shamia looked a hot mess. People were like, you ain't giving her grace. She looked a hot mess. She's a beautiful woman. I definitely think she could look better. The wig was not wigging. I get it. You're trying to give Dallas, but you didn't. You could still give Dallas and give glamour. Cynthia was giving glamour. And even Kelly. That was probably one of the better looks that Kelly has ever given. She was giving it. I will say this, Drew looked great. If Drew had showed up on time, she would have killed all the girls. But she for me, was definitely one of the best dressed. Angela's wig was terrible. Angela, I need you to do better. Angela's dress was great. Angela's wig was terrible. Oh, Jermaine says, I love when my manager hears alive and thinks, I probably shouldn't be reading this out loud. I love when my manager hears alive and thinks I'm on the phone. Yes, keep on walking. Taurus says it's a crunchy wig. Yeah. His Bookie Bear says that wig was horrible. Yeah, it wasn't good, Shamia. There's got to be something for us to root for when it comes to Shamia. And it feels like she doesn't give us anything. She doesn't give us the BBL. The booty. That's the one thing this week that we can root for. So every week we need you to show the booty because I feel like every single week there's nothing for us to root for Shamia. I'm like, you know what? At least she gave confessional look. She's looking great. It's nothing. We can't even root for the marriage because it feels like he's not even interested. He doesn't want to film. What are we supposed to do? Nikki says that Faye looked good. I liked her dress. I didn't really love the wig, but she didn't look bad. The wig wasn't bad like Angela's. Angela's wig was bad. Okay. Excommunicado says, Shamia looked a mess at the gala. Kelly, Phaedra, and K. Michelle looked... K. Michelle, for me, because remember, Cynthia also had them all blinged out in diamonds and things like that. We had Phaedra flirting with a man. K. Michelle really did look, and I rewatched it, she really did look the best from head to toe, hair, makeup, those ruby earrings with her red dress, gorgeous. She definitely was one of the best dressed. If Drew was there on time, she would have been one of the best dressed. But she wasn't. She wasn't there on time. She would probably have been the best dressed, to be honest, because her hair and makeup looked great. How did you guys feel about the fact that Drew was so late? Drew was so late. I did not like that. I was like, Drew, come on. And I know she'll probably say, oh, I had a headache. Girl, you were getting ready when they were getting ready. But okay, fine. And you have a pattern, very much like Dorito. You have a pattern. But Willie says, Kate looked really beautiful. It gave Pretty Woman. But she looked gorgeous. Gorgeous. Miss B. Wood says, love a good updo. She looked great. She definitely looked great. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, don't forget to vote tomorrow, 13th District in Atlanta. Don't forget, right? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yep. Tyrese says, Kay is sensitive, but could it be production who told her the rumor? Because if it were them, Kay wouldn't be able to break the fourth wall. They can be messy. But again, Kay is no amateur when it comes to reality television. And again, she doesn't even get into the JJ smelling rumor at all. I don't know, but it's not helping her look great. Because my thing is, why would you fall for the okie doke? Again, I could understand someone new to reality television falling for the okie doke, and production always gets the blame for stuff like this. And I really don't know if I believe that. I think it's more so K. Michelle being paranoid. We got to look at the pattern of behavior, y'all. I've seen this with K. Michelle before in other situations. All right. Tracy says, no, you are not too tough on Chamia. XO. Thank you. Anyway. All right, let's get to the callers. I've already spoken so much about this. If you missed it, we were live earlier today getting the female perspective from Layla Lynn and Grace Report. So be sure to check out our live earlier. We talked a lot more about Real Housewives of Atlanta. But if you're just joining us, I said I'm going to do an after the show here on the channel. So shout out to those of you that are here for the after show. We appreciate you guys as well. And those of you watching the replay of this. All right, let's get to the callers. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, okay? So we're going to take some callers. Callers, please respect the timer. If you can't hear me, drop out, call back in, okay? Well, then if you can't hear that, then we have that. Anyway, Mary says that K. Michelle equals Rachel Zoe. They really thought that they were going to be the stars of the show. Maybe. All right, let's bring up our first caller, Angel, who's been waiting so patiently backstage. Angel, what's going on?
Oh my God, I'm number one again. So I will say bidet or bust because no going back. And I don't know what Portia was doing because you shouldn't do that in front of your friends. But to each its own. We know Portia is not all there. I was gonna say that. What was I gonna say? So I'm glad Layla said it about K. Michelle and all that mess because Kay said she had no female friends, but yet she's in a sorority and she has bad blood with all of those girls in Atlanta. So who was the one who fed her all this information about everybody plotting and planning on? I think you're right. It is the voices in her head. K. Michelle is flopping big time. And I feel bad for her because at this rate, I don't think she'll get a season 2. I think she might be a one and done.
Ooh.
And I don't believe that Portia, we know Kelly and Portia are both liars, but I don't believe the story, even though Portia will scissor and hunch anything and Kelly's ex-husband is super fugly. I don't believe it. If anybody's scissoring, it's Kelly and Shamia. And that's it.
Thanks, Angel. Bye. The call-in link, guys, I will drop the call link for the general audience in a moment. We have quite a few members backstage that want to call in and share their thoughts. Let's bring up D. Nicole next. D. Nicole, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kemp, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good. Getting ready to leave this office finally. Thank you, Jesus.
I know that's right.
But I wanted to say, for one, Shamia's helmet at the gala made me very upset. That thing was standing up by itself. If she took it off, it would have stood on 4 legs. If anybody has seen the barnyard, remember that scene where that thing was in that lady's head? That's what it looked like. I'm so sorry, Shamia. And she could do so much better. I don't know if it's her team, but it didn't work out. And then the whole issue with Drew and Kay, I'm like, Kay just wasn't making sense to me. And I was on Twitter last night, and people were saying she sounds like a dementia patient. And I'm like, I hate to say that, but it's all over the place. I hate to say that. I was like, where did this come from? It did not make sense. I love Kim Show, and I really had hope, but the last caller, I feel like this is her one and done.
Damn.
I'm not gonna lie. I want it differently, but that's it.
Thanks, D. Nicole. Take care. Damn. Y'all think, live chat, do y'all think she's a one and done? Let me know. Tyler's backstage. Hey, Tyler, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Let me say this. I do think that somebody told K. Michelle something. She's just not going to reveal it. And the way that she went about it, I do want to keep in mind this. Love and Hip Hop typically gives them, hey, this person, you're meeting with this person, this is what it's about. That's why K. Michelle is struggling. She's used to being told, like, hey, this is going to happen so she can prep. She knows she's probably going to argue with this person. These seem to be more real situations that you walk into. And I also feel like she held back and is not saying certain things, which, because what everybody was saying before she got on the show, oh, she's going to bring love and hip hop. She's going to do this and this and that. I think somebody told her or whatever. I don't think it's a producer. I think it's like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep this in mind. Last year, Britt and Kelly got into it and they were sharing the same stylist that was starting mess. K. Michelle and Portia were sharing the same stylist that was starting mess. That same stylist is all in Portia's comments saying, you're greater than this person or whatever right now. They have a history of keeping up mess. It's someone within the team and they don't want to bring it. I'm sure it'll come out K Michelle's gonna be on Watch What Happens Live this week, but it doesn't look good for her, girl. Just say it. Just say it.
Valid point,
But
Tyler.
that's all. That's all. The Drew thing, she should let that go. She should have went at the big dog. That's what's making her look bad. If she would have just went at Portia, people would have been on her side. The Drew thing is a reach. But that's all.
Thanks, Tyler. Take care. Valid points. Look, Tyler almost convinced me. Look, Team K Michelle. No. No. No, but Tyler almost got me. Almost got me. All right, Lee's backstage. Lee, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I enjoyed this week's episode. I do understand the concept that Shamia was going for, like the big pageantry Texas hairstyles. She just has a little frame for it, so she didn't need to do too much hair. But yeah, she's beautiful. I don't know if she got her body done or she toned it up. It looks great either way. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. I do feel for Shamia really bad because I know she's trying to hold her spot on the show, but it's just not working well with her doing all these antics with the cast members, rallying them up before a gala. Girl, we got things to do right now. That could have been a sprinter moment or something.
She wanted to have a moment, though.
She wanted to have a moment, and she got it low key, but then it turned into the K Michelle show. So did she really get that moment? Ooh. I don't know. But yeah, so either way, I'm enjoying the show. A whole bath is pretty much just like you washing up with soap and water, and is mainly for the lady bits, but it could be, you can wash from head to toe, but it's just not in the shower.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Lee.
All right. Talk soon.
Bye. We should call this live whole bath with Kempire. Okay. Let's bring up Hyatt next. Hyatt, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good. I wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday. I loved your post on Instagram.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course. And I just want to say, I agree with all your points. I don't think you're hard on Shamia, but I do feel for Shamia a little bit. Every time I see her on screen, I just see somebody that's desperate for somebody's validation. And that's sad to me because she is, when you put it on paper and you see her, a lovely person.
Yeah.
So just be in love with yourself. I wish that for herself. Just fall in love with yourself. But anyways, that's it.
Thanks, Hyatt, for calling in. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Nicole's backstage. We're going to bring Nicole up next. Hold on. Nicole, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing? Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. How are you?
Hey, welcome. I'm fine, thank you. I wanted to say with K Michelle, I've always been a fan of hers, but I really do believe this is going to probably be her last season because I think Love and Hip Hop really traumatized her. She has PTSD from that. And I think people who haven't really watched Love and Hip Hop back in the day when she was on it, keep in mind, if you connect the dots, Portia is still good friends with Rashida. You know, Rashida, the woman who was friends with K Michelle's ex that wasn't allegedly, he did. It came out the allegations of the abuse. And so I think that's where probably a lot of her paranoia is coming through because you notice how she's coming at Portia a lot, making those digs and those type of things. And then also, I don't know if did you watch what happens? What is it?
Watch What Happens Live. Yeah.
Yeah, with Shamia. Did you notice her body language the whole time, sitting next to Andy?
No.
Rewatch it. She is sitting there where she's facing him the whole time, almost off the edge of her seat. I'm like, you could tell she's so thirsty for the fame and wanting to be accepted. And that's where I'm just like, I'm looking at her with a whole different view right now. And so just rewatch it and you'll see what I'm talking about. It just it didn't sit right with
I'll
me.
say this. A lot of the housewives are like that. A lot of them are thirsty for Andy's affection. I think I spilled the tea at my live show about Portia and how she was acting when Andy was at the Ultimate Girls Trip big finale. Just saying. Yeah. They all kind of do it. Some are just better at hiding it.
You know why? Because Andy is the prize. That's why. Okay. All right. Bye.
Thanks, Nicole. Bye. Guys, today's brought to you by our friends over at Basque and Lather. I am always so excited when I can collaborate with a brand, first of all, that's Black owned, but also something that I know you all can benefit from and will love. That's why today's live is brought to you by our friends over at Basque and Lather. So let me tell you a little bit about Baskin Lather and how it even all began. As I mentioned to you before, it's a Black-owned business. When a dermatologist misdiagnosed CEO Shayna's younger sister and said her hair may never grow back, the family took things into their own hands, very much like Black people always do. Today, her hair is down to her hips. Shayna and her mother researched and formulated their own scalp and hair oil to stimulate growth and retain length. And I know what you're probably thinking, Kempire, what do you know about hair? I said I'm going to find a product from this company that I can use. So for those of you, shout out to the guys that follow the channel, or maybe your husbands that are just listening earshot, they have beard remedies as well. So I've been using their beard shampoo, their beard conditioner, their beard oil, their beard magic, which is going to help fill in spots. I've been using it for 3 weeks. So if you see a transformation when it comes to my beard, you know it was at the hands of Baskin Lather. So there are things there for men as well. But more importantly, I know that we have a large audience of women that follow the channel. So I love when we can bring a product that's going to benefit you. Let me tell you a little bit more about Baskin Lather and some of the things that they have on their website. If you're looking for something when it comes to your hair, nourish and hydrate from the inside out with 100% natural ingredients. They have a nourishing hair balm for curly or kinky hair that helps reduce hair breakage and adds shine. When used regularly, users have seen results in about 3 months. Made with ingredients that can penetrate hair strands without clogging pores. Non-greasy formulation with no petroleum or lanolin. They also have hydrating hair mist. Keep any hair type soft and shiny and hydrated. Combines aloe vera and avocado oil to reduce frizz, treat dryness, detangle, and redefine curls. And I took a look at their before and afters, and you would be amazed. From people that have alopecia to dryness of hair to length. The length, I was like, well, maybe I do need to try it. They also have before and after when it comes to thinning hair and shedding of your hair. As I said before, there are multiple before and afters for men as well. These products are for both men and women. I never bring you something here where you can't benefit or get a discount. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Baskin Lather. Go to baskinlatherco.com and use code KEMPIRE for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskinlatherco.com, code KEMPIRE. More details on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Thanks to Baskin Lather for sponsoring today's live. And I love seeing the comments where people are saying, Asia says, I purchased Baskin Lather and they delivered timely to London. Love it. I love it, Asia. Thank you for letting us know. Hold on. There was another comment. Ms. Parker says, Kempire brought Baskin Lather into my life. I'm loving it. Love that. Love that, Ms. Parker. Thank you. And hold on. There we go. Classy says, yes, I love Baskin Lather. Shout out to them. Again, more information on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra says, you really do give grace to the ladies of RHOA. I watched your recap of BT Presents The Encore. You gave top tier honest shade. Oh, Kendra, you rewatch our Encore recaps? Oh my God, that's really going way back. Portia and K. Michelle better appreciate you using kid gloves. Go Kempire. I don't think people realize it, and I'm not even tooting my own horn, but thank you, Kendra, because people don't even realize half of what's up here doesn't come out here, okay? I'm just saying. Anyway, let me get to the rest of the calls. Gary's backstage. Gary's a hater. No, I'm just like Gary.
I'm not a hater.
What's going on, Gary? What did you want to share about RHO?
I just want to say that I'm annoyed with K. Michelle because I skipped last season. I did tune in for the episode where Kenya ruined her career.
Ooh.
But after that, I didn't watch anymore. And I tuned in for this season because I was excited for K. Michelle, only to see her being disconnected, seemingly emotionally unstable, saving all her reads for Twitter and aligning herself with the wrong people. My last straw was, I think she got on Twitter last week and said something about Phaedra and said that she don't play about Phaedra and that Phaedra is just misunderstood. And I was like, oh girl, you in your bad decision era. This is bad. And then she just seems like a shell of her former self. I'm hoping it's not her only season because I do think the producers need to start giving newbies at least 2 seasons to get their footing and stop letting us as fans cast their shows. But I could see a world where she decides herself not to come back, so she could take ownership of her stance on the show. But I'm just mad that I tuned in for her to be flopping like this.
Damn. Thanks, Gary.
All right.
Bye. Kimmy's back, so we're going to bring Kimmy up next. Kimmy, what did you want to share about RHOA? Kimmy, you're muted. Kimmy. Oh, wait. Kimmy, you're muted, Kimmy. I can't hear you. I'll come back to you, Kimmy. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. I'm bringing Miss Bernice up. Miss Bernice, what's going on?
Hey, what up, though?
Hey.
Get my son up. When I looked at the episode, okay, and unfortunately, Kay has self-policed herself so much that she can't be herself. And these helpers that's around her keep picking at her with little, how you gonna bring out something that's over 10 years old and then throw it up in her face like it's today's news? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because if we did a repo on all of you helpers, and I do mean helpers, Twitter accounts, we'll pull up some stuff. So that was weak.
Yeah.
And if Drew don't get need to go to the beauty school and learn how to repair a wig, I'm gonna scream. Because she keep coming in there with them dry. I grew up with women who wore wigs and they took care of their wigs. She don't take care of her wigs, and it's sad. But the puppet masters, which is Phaedra and Portia, they keep picking at Kay and then playing innocent. What Drew is trying to do was failing miserably. And you notice whenever Drew falls out with somebody, she don't show up at the next event.
Oh. Okay. All right, Miss
Yeah,
Bernice.
I may watch next week just because you're going to review. But other than that, it's there.
Okay.
But
All
I
right.
love you. I love the chat.
Thank you, Miss Bernice. Have a great day.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Hold on, let me see. Oh, wait, Kimmy dropped out. All right, we'll come back to Kimmy. All right, let me bring Keith next. Keith, what's going on? Oh.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. So first, I do want to just say that I stand on the fact that the room that Shamia and Kelly was staying in was dirty.
Oh.
I don't know. It very much welcomed bed bugs. And my thing is, when I see a whole bunch of dirt on somewhere I'm supposed to lay my head, automatically I think of bum bumps. And I don't want no bum bumps. So I understand why they're frustrated, because all the money they spend on facials, who want bum bumps? I sure don't. But also, I wanted to say, Phaedra bring really nothing to the show other than the Michael Jackson ad-libs. Hee, hoo, hoo. She did the whole face. And like, whenever I see her make those faces, I always think of Michael Jackson for some reason. But also, I want to say, Shamia in that wig at the gala was a mess. I don't know what that was. It looked like it was a bird's nest, actually. But last thing I did want to say is, so I couldn't call in on Friday. However, I want to say that I didn't like that narrative about Pinky being aggressive, because I don't think she was actually trying to fight Angela. She didn't get in Angela's face. It felt like a reach to me, and I feel like if this was a black and white situation, no one would actually be calling Pinky aggressive. For example, I don't see anybody calling Garcelle aggressive when she got up at the table and told Dorit she's full of BS. And I feel like getting up at a table, especially telling someone to kiss your behind, is not being aggressive. But also, one thing, I don't see anyone calling Drew or K. Michelle aggressive, and they almost fought. But that's about it.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Keith. All right. Let's get to the rest of the callers. Let's bring up Kimmy again. Kimmy, are you there? You're muted, Kimmy.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I just want to say that this might be a stretch, but watch this happen live the other night, last night. And I thought that, what's her name? Rosie seemed a little too surprised about, what's her name? The other one who was on the show. Being of Rhode Island.
Oh,
Shamia. Okay, maybe I'm pushing it too much, but I just thought she looked a little too surprised. I just, of course, I picked up on something like, I don't know, microaggressions or whatever. And maybe how Andy's face looked afterwards, too. I just think she was a little too surprised that this woman house was also following that her house was bigger than hers, or how big her house was, as the same size as, I think, I don't know, somebody else famous. Rosie just seemed a little too surprised at how she didn't seem to know who she was sitting next to, which is fine, but she seemed a little too surprised this brown woman was out pacing her money-wise. That's all. That's just what I thought.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Kimmy. All right. Taurus Sun is backstage. We're going to bring Taurus Sun up next. Taurus Sun, what did you want to share about RHOA?
Hey, Kempire. Happy belated birthday. My birthday was Saturday.
Happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You share a birthday with Janet Jackson?
Huh?
You share a birthday with Janet?
Me and Janet Jackson have the same birthday. So exciting. I just wanted to say, excuse me, that this was a good episode. K. Michelle has PTSD from Love and Hip Hop and that radio show. She's being careful and she don't want to say the wrong thing, but yet she's still getting triggered. My thing with her is this is not a show for you if you can't handle being on an ensemble cast with a bunch of other ladies that's going to bring up things. You knew Housewives of Atlanta for years. Don't say you never saw it, but you're on the show, so you got to play the game. Obviously, she is still triggered. She is still having issues with that. And she probably shouldn't be back on the show. I'm sorry. I like K. Michelle, but her getting upset and correlating the oysters with what somebody said for her 10 years ago, honey, only person that's supposed to be worried about your hot pocket is your husband. That shouldn't have bothered you at all. You should have moved on from that. But obviously she's not. So I'm sorry. The bipolarism of the whole thing was ridiculous. And she came downstairs to argue with a clean face. So she didn't have gland in. So what was the problem there? She's a beautiful girl. That's all I wanted to say. Love you, Kempire. Again, Taurus season is about to end.
I know.
But you have a good rest of your day and talk to you later.
Thank you. Take care, Taurus Sun.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let me get to the rest of these because we got a long line still, and I got to get out of here by 5. All right, Saham. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Saham, are you there?
Yes, here.
What's going on? What do you want to share about RHOA?
Good, thank you. I think the episode was amazing. It was 10 out of 10. There was like a lot going on. I do think a lot of the ladies were very disrespectful to Cynthia just throughout the whole trip. There have been like many housewives I did not like, but I always try to say that everyone deserves 2 seasons despite how terrible they are. But I think for me, K. Michelle is where I draw the line. She's just too much. She has so many mood swings and I think that she could be right in the sense that maybe it's Drew that was possibly bringing that plot to the screen, but no one's going to believe her because she's doing too much. She's crazy. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Saham, for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Let me restart the timer. Let me bring up Karen backstage. Karen, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You watch all the Housewives and you'll remember this. Remember in Real Housewives of Orange County?
I didn't watch all that. I've only watched the recent seasons.
Okay. If you go recent seasons, might be recent seasons, but you remember Crystal Minkoff did the same thing, where she brought up where she felt violated. And it went through
Beverly
the
Hills.
whole season. And nobody knew what she felt violated about. And in that, almost to the end, then she said it was when Shannon walked into her room and she wasn't dressed.
Sutton.
And
you know what, Karen? You are mixing up these shows. You won't confuse me. You talking about Sutton on Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills. That's right. And you were like, what is she talking about? And nobody knew. And for that whole time, she felt violated, and Sutton said that was such a strong word. And it reminded me of that same type of scene with K. Michelle. She came downstairs, she was crying, and nobody knew what she was crying about. But your callers may agree. I'm ready to go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta with the OG. It was more fun. This is more, I don't know, it just is not the same type of vibe.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Karen, thank you so much for calling in. All right, let's bring up Jasmine next. Jasmine, what's going on? What did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I just wanted to say, I'm gonna be honest, I was very confused by K Michelle and that whole situation, only because I didn't watch Love and Hip Hop. And I honestly wish that she would stop referring to Love and Hip Hop. And I know the show's already filmed, but I wish that it wasn't referred to so much, just because there are people like me who didn't watch Love and Hip Hop. I know who K Michelle is, but I didn't know chapter and verse her whole chronological order of drama or things she's been through.
Yeah.
I know about her situation with the DV, but all of this other stuff, I was like you. I was rewinding and what are we talking about? It just felt like a lot of information all at once
Yeah.
coming from her on top of everything else. The other thing I kind of am looking at K Michelle sideways about this last episode is that the previous episode, she was a good time. She was having a good time with the women who she's saying were trying to sabotage her or whatever. So I'm kind of confused once again about that. Like, how are you saying you having a good time with them? You kikiing, laughing, and joking, but then you get back around Shamia and Kelly, and all of a sudden, it's waterworks again.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. I enjoyed the episode though, and I felt bad for Cynthia. I hope she got a good massage or went on a quick trip after that because my God, she went through it.
Yeah. Jasmine, thank you so much for calling in.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, Nota Queen is backstage. We're going to bring Nota Queen up next. Hold on. Nota Queen, are you there?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, what's going on?
Lady birthday.
Thank you.
All I want to say is Shamia said last season that she was going to get her back done, and she did a very good job. She looks very good. The thing that frustrates me about Shamia, and I think a lot of people are having a problem with, is Shamia's just lame. And nothing frustrates me more than she has all the means to be an it girl, a good housewife. She has the tools there. She just don't know how to use them. And I want her to get it together and use what she has, because she has it. It's there. I need her to use what she has. She's been a sidekick too long. She got to get out of that and learn how to be the main girl. With K Michelle, I'm just very disappointed in her performance. She's not giving somebody that was in Andy's DMs begging and had a shotgun wedding just to get on this show. And I just need her to, I don't know, maybe she does. I usually want a second season, but maybe she does need to go. She's just so out of it.
Yeah.
To the point where it just doesn't make sense. You're upstairs tweeting and crying instead of going downstairs and going, get it together. But that's all.
Thanks, Nota Queen. All right, let's bring up our next caller, Excommunicado. Excommunicado, what did you want to share?
Yeah, hi, Kempire.
Hey.
So I didn't watch Love and Hip Hop and the whole of K Michelle's history, but I'll do just like I did with RHOP's Angel. I'll just let us not all throw the baby out with the bathwater yet.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think she has a bit of PTSD from what happened to her. And also, the whole black thing, I think that was reading a bit too much into all of that shit. It didn't make sense to me. But for the oyster thing, I saw it immediately at the table when they were serving the oyster. Drew was the first person who said, be careful with the oyster, with some kind of funny face. I noticed that before Portia went into checking and doing all of that shit. So I already felt, okay, something was off. So when she came out with it later on, it added up to me. So I know a lot of people don't seem to get that, but I noticed that the energy between Drew and then Portia, and then they ask, what are you doing? And then say, it just looked up to me. But I feel like she also is trying not to crash out like she would previously do. Yeah. And she's holding in a lot. That's why she's probably ending up bawling and crying instead of actually voicing her emotions like she would normally would feel. But in the end, though, I feel like we have a great cast and the show can go on because all the people that a lot of people seems to actually, the Kellys, the Shamias, the K Michelle that people want to be one season, if they are not actually instigating things that we are talking about, what exactly are we talking about? Portia or Phaedra? What are they bringing?
Good points.
That's
Good
what
points.
I gotta say.
Thanks, Excommunicado. All right, let's bring up Makai next. Makai, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire. How are you? I'm doing well.
Okay. What's going on?
So, essentially, the first thing I want to say is I think Watch What Happens Live with Shamia and Rosie was a great episode. I think they're two sources that feed off each other well. It was great to watch. I enjoyed them. Now I want to get into Shamia because I'm going to drag her real quickly. I think Shamia is accustomed to being the liked person and between two friends while being friends with the unliked one. We know Portia is not that likable person. She's endearing, but we know she's probably not that likable as a friend. So I think Shamia is used to being that friend that is more well-liked as opposed to somebody, even with Kelly, you can see it. Shamia wants to be the more well-liked one, the objective one, compared to Kelly, who's just loud and annoying, like more annoying than Shamia.
Yeah.
So I think Shamia needs, like someone said earlier, she needs to get out that whole being second fiddle to somebody and really shine, because she actually has a lot of likable characteristics if we get into it. I think this cast is honestly really good, even with all their faults and up and downs. I really enjoy this cast. I think all of them should be back for season 2, except Phaedra, because she's not bringing anything but hee ha-has and confessionals. If they want to pay her to do that, I'm fine with it. It is what it is. And my last point I want to make is I think K. Michelle specifically, she likes to jump ahead on issues before anybody else can get a hold on that issue, which is okay. What's good when does you look crazy doing this thing where you're jumping ahead of the gun before we even got to the root of the issue. We haven't even got to know if Drew or Portia would come out and say these things.
Okay. All right, Makai, thanks so much for calling in. All right, let's bring Tammin. Tammin, is that how you pronounce it? Tammin, are you there?
Oh, Tam Montreal. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? Just changing up the usernames. What's going on?
Happy belated birthday, Kempire.
Thank you.
You're a Taurus just like my man.
Lucky you.
Exactly. Like a previous caller said, it is weird that K. Michelle last episode was like, I'm so happy to be getting to know Portia. And then all of a sudden, beef with Portia and Drew, the two people Shamia doesn't get along with. I think Shamia's behind it. And the pile up on Drew is crazy. Shamia doesn't like Drew because Portia didn't like Drew last season because of Dennis. So why is Shamia holding on to this? And now she's dragged Kelly into this and now Kay into this, and it's a whole pile-on. Anyway, it's odd to me. And one last thing, I did see on ET, like a few months ago, it was Phaedra and Angela on ET, and they were talking about who was the villain this season of the show, and they both said Shamia. So I guess we have more to see.
Yeah, from beginning, look, we're not even halfway through the season, and it's already looking that way. All right.
Yeah. All right. Have
Thanks.
a good one.
You too. Bye. All right, let's bring up Ashley next. Ashley, are you there?
Yes, I am.
What's going on?
How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good. I know you have time constraints, so I'll get right into it. I'm really disappointed that K. Michelle is a March Pisces, obviously, because I'm one. Don't judge us. We're super sensitive, but we ain't like that. We'll confront it. And I also have to say, I was completely confused as to what her issue is. I remember that interview, but I didn't even correlate that with the oysters. So that confused the mess out of me. And she went, obviously now she made that come to light. And the Twitter fingers, that's not what I'm used to at all. And people may not like Pinky, but I respect her because at least she'll go and confront in the whole group and let them know what it is instead of dropping little tips and tablets. Now, if you're on the Real Housewives, you got to say it. Let's move on. And no, I know people are not for Shamia. I get it, but I'm still holding out hope. I was like, she's been around Real Housewives for too long for her to be floundering like this. I'm like, come on, girl. I can't be the only one hoping for her. And I'm a Portia fan too. I know she got you blocked, but still.
Can you go in the comment section and tell her to unblock me? I'm kidding.
And I'm still hoping out for Nene. If the president of NBC Universal, I hope for a friend of. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thanks, Ashley. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, we got 2 Cynthias back. Wait, we got 3 different Cynthias back here. Hold on. Let me bring up the other Cynthia. Cynthia, are you there? Cynthia. Wait, Cynthia?
Hello?
Now I can hear you. Go ahead. Cynthia, I got to take you down. Cynthia, are you there? Nope, that's not working either. Wait, hold on. Cynthia, are you there? Why is there 3 different Cynthias backstage? It's the same Cynthia, but 3... Cynthia? All right, Cynthia, I can't help you. Let me get to Bernice Nelson. Bernice, what's going on?
Hi, congratulations on another year around the sun.
Thank you. And to you too, happy belated.
Thank you. My mom's was yesterday, so I had a little quiet remembrance of her because it was her birthday.
Oh.
But she passed away from breast cancer. So I just wanted to say that I think Shamia is, if the correct term is emotionally stunted, but when you don't grow up, she reminds me a lot of like how I was when I was a teenager, just loud and rowdy, but then you grow up, and it's like she didn't grow up. So I also wanted to say I'm mad at Drew because Drew, how dare you come like in the end? That was so not nice to Cynthia. It was disrespectful, and I just felt like she was selfish in that point. Also, they look really good without makeup. They should wear less makeup. When I was looking at them, I was like, wow, a lot of them have natural beauty. And they're upset at Angela for bringing a lot of mess, or they say she's messy. But if she didn't bring out stuff, what would we be talking about? Twerking all the time or something?
Right.
What
She's
would we
producing.
we wouldn't be getting down to the issues. And as for K. Michelle, I've never really been a fan of hers anyway because I always felt like she is a lot like Tamar. So in that aspect, that's it. I know you got to be out by 5, so see you on the next one.
Thank you, Bernice. Take care. All right, I got 4 Cynthia's backstage. Cynthia, are you there? Testing.
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Of course you can. Verizon. How you doing, Kempire? I'm always so ashamed. Hey, Kempire, you know what? FYI, in the Nigerian culture, we call Toto.
Damn. Cynthia, now I can't even hear you. Damn, for one top of Verizon. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, I can't even hear you anymore. You had to mention Verizon. See, they done took you. Someone done took you out because you said that. Damn. It's all right. I gotta go. And shout out to everyone that called in. We had a whole long conversation about hoe baths, and we're gonna continue that conversation. Miss Alice says, yes, I use their edge control. Love it in regards to Baskin Lather. Thank you for that. London F said, thank you for remember. Oh, London delivery may give it a go. Hashtag Baskin Lather. Just saying. More information on all of our sponsors will be available in the description. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that was a part of the conversation in the live chat. You guys, I could be here talking to myself, okay? But I appreciate you all being here. Don't forget as well, I was live earlier today for my recap with the Dream Team, Layla Lynn, and Grace Report. So be sure to check that out. You can also hear it on the Kempire podcast later this evening. You'll be able to hear this live recap, an edited down version, a little bit later on, maybe tomorrow. And don't forget as well, I just dropped a new Club KEMPIRE episode. That's our Apple Podcast subscription. And join our mailing list, thekempire.com/join. Thekempire.com/join. Okay? Join the mailing list. I'm telling you, I gave all kinds of really great deets for my birthday trip. Just saying. But Club KEMPIRE, I give you all the tea in regards to my birthday trip. So be sure to join. All right? All right. Thank you again, Kings Guards. Thank you guys so much for all the likes. Keep liking the video if you're watching the replay of this. I gave you a bonus Real Housewives of Atlanta after show recap so that we could get to some callers and talk some more stuff. So hope you guys appreciated it. I will see you all probably tomorrow for our Real Housewives of Rhode Island recap. So stay tuned for that. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.